Alrighty folks, this is a little older camera here, but I got tired of playing around with my new camera I got here on my phone. It kept giving me a bunch of issues. But anyway, I wanted to get this video up because it's kind of important, so get these updates going here and keep them going. But our Biscayne, the last few videos I was making, I made just a little mistake. I said that I had a 100% of the dash mounting that goes on top of her dash, on top of her defrost vents there. I had said that it was 100% complete. Well, that's not entirely true. We are missing the little square piece that's got a little hole in it that the screw goes in. That I missed that little section, but we have everything else. Obviously, we have that piece over there. We have it all on the top where the headliner would go. And then if we come over here, I have that piece too. That's stored away. And then I showed our knee knockers. We have those as well. And I got the piece that was missing from there. And then we also have two extra pieces. Well, one extra piece for that side. But the piece I'm talking about goes right in the center. You can't find no information on it at all, hardly on the internet, trying to look at pictures and everything else. But I'm 100% positive that, because the 55 through the 57 Chevys had it. And, I mean, honestly, it could be made easily. It's just a little square piece with the hole drilled in it, and that goes in the center. That ties the two together. My Edsel actually has one. I'll show you that. But it actually should go somewhere in this general area here in front of the speaker here. But I am missing that. But other than that, it is complete. So that's good. But let me show you a little example here. This is on my Edsel here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I got my C10 and my Edsel. They're both winterized. So I went ahead and took in, because I had it watered during the summer and all, and it's cutting a little too close because it's November here and it's getting cold now. It's starting to get to the freezing point. So I went ahead and put antifreeze in both of them, so that way they'll be winterized. That way I ain't got to worry about something bad happening. But I usually don't like adding water like that because it's not really good for it. It causes corrosion and everything else. But we come to our Edsel here, and now this is a Edsel, but right in front of our speaker grill here, let me open the door up on the car. This car has it too. And I'm almost 100% sure that our Biscayne had it too. There it is. Right there. So I'm pretty sure that little square piece right there. So we got our garnish molding on our Edsel here. We have that side. And then we have this side over here. And then of course we have our little bit different style knee knockers down there. But I have all that for our Biscayne. But I'm 100% sure we are missing that little square piece. And it looks kind of like our Edsel here. But it's the same concept. But I am missing that little piece. I have looked on the internet trying to find it. And it's going to be a little bit difficult. But I will find it. Something else I am missing that I left out, I might have mentioned it, but I can't remember. I'll mention it again, is our windshield cowl panel that goes right in front of our windshield on our Biscayne here, underneath our wiper arms. Well, this one kind of has it too. There's a little chrome piece. Our Edsel has it too, but it's a different style. There's a chrome piece and there's a nut and it's a washer. We're missing those, so I got to find them and locate them. But and of course we got to get our trim that goes around our windshield here for our Biscayne too. But I got to find those, and it looks like the 59. Not sure about the 60, but I would say the 59 are 1 year only. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I need that little chrome piece that's underneath our wiper arms. I got to locate those too. I do have a little lead on the door. I don't know where it's going to go, if I'll get it or not, but I've talked to a couple people that's got some doors. I talked to one feller. He's got a channel on YouTube too. He's a nice feller, and he does a lot of Impala, Bel Air videos. But anyway, I'm hoping that'll turn out, and if I can get a decent deal on a door and it's not too crazy, to ship it, that would be awesome. Because I like to get a door for that driver's side to make it complete. And if as long as it's got all our glass, our vent window, and you know, just 100% complete, that would be awesome. Because that way we'll have our door, then we can do our valance there. But that's the few things I'm still missing. So I got to find that little square piece there. I can't find hardly no pictures on the internet. I mean, I can find the 55 to 57 Chevys, find them all day long. And that might fit. It might fit right in there. I mean, honestly, it wouldn't really be that hard to make. It's just a piece of sheet metal on the ends are bent a little bit, and it just goes in the middle with the hole drilled in. That's it. I mean, I could make it if it come down to it. But you can tell on those moldings that it had to have had one there, because there is 2 little marks there. So I'm pretty positive that this car would have had it. But that is missing. But we're working on that. Hopefully, like I said, I want to get my door for it. I hope that turns out okay. Oh, that's blurry. Sorry about that. Hopefully I can get that door and get our hinge down there. And I want to get this front clip off. And we'll start working on getting our valance and all that, because I want to get the trim yet. Got to get that. And it's only 4 pieces. It's not too terrible, but I have located one piece. If I look back at my videos, there was one sitting on the seat on the driver's side that looked like it was pretty good. So I got to find that, check that. If that's good, then hopefully I can just get them 3 pieces, and that'll be good. But anyway, alright, on to our Durango here. I was trying to make an update on this as well, and then we'll get to our C10 here in a second. But the power steering, it is hooked up. I got it all hooked up. I got to replace this return hose right down here. I just reused the old one for now. But everything is hooked up on that. I filled it up. I still got to fire it up and bleed the system. Just turn the wheels back and forth a few times and bleed the system. But I won't do that until I get our radiator mounted. I'm going to have to tweak this mount right here just a little bit, the upper radiator support. I'm going to tweak it slightly. The bolt holes won't quite lined up. And again, I might just loosen these bolts up and just get a strap and just pull this fender over, because it's almost going to have to come over anyway. So I might be able just to loosen all these bolts up, pull it over just a shade so we can bolt this up. That's what I might do, because you can tell it needs to come over a little bit. That's not in the hood, that's actually in the fender. And if we could get that out of there, that would look really good. But anyway, the power steering is done. That's wrapped up. And that's good to go. I got to replace that one return hose, which is not a big deal. That's not that much. But I got all that done. That's all wrapped up. Put new O-ring seals and all the lines down there. So that's good. I'm glad I caught this. But I got to pull this mount for alternator and all that. That's got to come off one more time, because I got to get to this heater hose right down here. But it's got a little split that's starting behind our alternator. Can't really see it. But I caught that after I done bolted all this back up. But we're going to just run a whole new line, because I'm going to get rid of this connection right here. Just make one solid line. I replaced the other side last year, but I didn't do that side, which was not really smart, but that's alright. But at that time, wasn't that bad. But we're going to do it right. We're not going to mess with this side, because it's like I said, this side's fine. I am going to pick up this heater hose too. So we're going to pick that up locally. I'm going to get that hopefully today. So we'll get that knocked out. And we'll get our heater hose maybe today. We'll see. I don't want to go too crazy on it, because I done spent quite a bit of money on it. But hopefully we'll get that heater hose too. And I'll see where we're at. I might have some heater hose laying around. I have to look. I think it's 5/8. Yeah, it looks like I see an 8 back here. I'll double check it. Yeah, this side's 5/8, so I'm assuming that side's 5/8 too. But I'll double check it. But either way, I want to at least get this heater tube fitting. We'll get that, and then fix our heater hose, and then we can start working on getting this upper radiator support mounted, get our radiator mounted, get our hoses hooked back up, and we'll get our fan all back on. It won't have a fan guard for a little while, unfortunately, because that got busted to pieces in the accident. And I just, eventually I'm going to get one. but I just really don't have the money right now. Money's very tight. But anyway, to move on to the next thing here, I got all the lug nuts ordered. So I got 24 of them coming. I got them all ordered. We'll have those. And then I went ahead and ordered the drums and the brake shoes for the back as well. So they're on the way too. And I think that's it. I believe that's it for now. So we got the brakes, shoes, and the drums on the way. And then we'll pick up our heater hose tube. We'll get that done. And then, like I said in the previous video, I got all 4 new tires. They're all brand new. The wheels came in too. We had 2 wheels. One came from Colorado. The other one came from Ohio. So those are in. So now we'll have all 4. Because I had the other 2 at a different location. And we'll have those 2 plus the other 2 I ordered. They're just the same exact style wheels, just 15 by 8s. Same exact wheels as what was on it before. But we got those, so I got to pick them up. I'll have to get all that mounted. May or may not get that done this week. I don't know. It just depends. Because like I said, money is very, very tight. It's starting to get a little tight now. But either way, hopefully we'll get it done next week. But I want to get this thing wrapped up, get our power steering bled out, get our cooling system filled up. We'll make sure our heat, and we'll go over it real good, our lights and all that good stuff works. And then I don't want to drive it nowhere, period, until we get our alignment done. So the first trip we're going to make in this thing is going to hopefully be the alignment shop, because I really don't want to drive it nowhere else. The inspection, unfortunately, is officially dead now. So I'm going to take this thing up and get the front end alignment done, and then we'll swing over and get our inspection, try and get all that wrapped up in all in one day. But yeah, that went out this month there, unfortunately. But let's try to get it done by Halloween, but didn't quite happen. But anyway, enough about them 2 right there. We'll move on to our next thing here. So I learned a couple different things on this truck here. The drum brakes on this truck are just, I mean, terrible. They really are. I mean, ever since I've had this truck, even after I replaced everything, all the wheel cylinders, you know, the master cylinder, all the lines, I mean, everything. The whole entire brake system on this truck has been completely redone. It's got all new drums on it. I mean, everything. Shoes, you name it. It's been replaced. But it's never been right. I mean, it's always, you know, stopped okay. But it's still, I mean, my Itzel stops better than this. And that's got drum brakes too. But anyway, I learned quite a few things on these drum brakes here. If you ever suspect something going wrong with them, check them things immediately. Don't do like what I did, because I ruined these 2 front drums and possibly the back as well. Don't know yet, but I'm betting money that they're probably ruined too. But I just thought at first, because, you know, I was starting to lose braking power, and the brakes on this thing have always sucked anyway. They're really just a poor design in my opinion. But anyway, they just, you know, got worse and worse. And then the other day, kind of scared me a little bit. You know, it's one of them things, you know, somebody pulled out in front of me. Not my fault. Kind of like what happened with the Durango here. And thank God, you know, I was far enough back. Because I know in this truck now, and I kind of do it on all the vehicles now, I always stay back far away. And I hate to say it, but if they don't like it, they just going to have to get over it. You know, that's just me. I stay far enough back, whether I get, you know, good brakes or not, that, you know, I got enough time to stop. But anyway, luckily, you know, I got stopped, nothing happened, but I almost rear-ended somebody because they pulled out in front of me, and there's no way that, you know, I would have got stopped in time. Ain't no way. But luckily, you know, they pulled out from the road this way and went straight across, made a left turn going straight on the road there, and then they took and got in the turning lane there and made another left turn. So they kind of made like a Z to come out that way and went straight on the road a little bit, and that's why I almost rear-ended them, and then they took a left turn. But goes to show, I mean, you got to watch out nowadays. People don't pay attention. But thank God it didn't get in an accident. But that led to me to believe ever since that happened, as soon as I got home, because I knew the brakes, ever since summertime, they kind of faded a little bit. I just assumed they needed to be adjusted. You know, because these bigger tires, I just assume, you know, they're going to wear quicker, you would say, because the little heavier tire, it might take a little more to stop it, but that's just me. They're just going to wear it a little quicker. But anyway, what I've learned here is if you got riveted brake shoes on the front, which I don't on the back, I don't believe, but if you do, even if you got the bonded, it's not really a win-win. You're not going to win-win on either one of them designs. Because the bonded, as a lot of people know, that material eventually can come off from the heat and just old and everything else. I mean, the brake shoes, like I've seen them just on something old like this, just sitting where they've been bonded, and they'll just fall right off. But these are bonded right here. This is what you would call a bonded brake shoe. They literally just glue the material to the shoe here, and these are riveted. These got rivets. These are stronger, but what you got to watch out for, and what they don't tell you, in my opinion, I don't think you got as much brake life on them. So what happened to me is, you know, the material wore down enough to where it was hitting the rivets, and then when it hit the rivets, you know, drum's done. I mean, sometimes you can get lucky if you catch it, and you might be able to turn it and get it, you know, get rid of it just by machining them out. But these are, you know, they're beyond that. They are ruined. But luckily, thank God, I caught it in time, because, I mean, it's almost to the point. It's got some meat there still, but, you know, eventually it'll get to the point where, you know, almost cut that drum in half. Keep riding around like that. But, so I got new brake shoes and new drums for the front on the way. I was planning to do that anyway, because I was going to do the brakes and put new tires on it and get this lined up too after the Durango was on the road, of course. But I've learned from that. So don't do like I did, and don't screw around with the brakes. That's, you know, I mean, you're playing with your life, you really are. But that's what happened to me. It done wore down to the rivets here, and the drums are ruined. And I'm hoping that the rear ones ain't, but I don't know yet. And the sad part about it is all these drums were replaced back in 2017. You know, I wish I would have, man, I kicked myself, because if I would have caught it back in May, I could have avoided all that. But, you know, you talking $200 for 4 drums, when a set of brake shoes is only, what, 30, 40 bucks. So, you know, 60 bucks versus, you know, almost 260 to 300. But learn from it. But yeah, gotta watch out, because if these were bonded, you could have wore them down a little bit more, you know. But either way, you know, they wear down to the rivets here, and it just ruins the drum. But this one was riveted too, but this one didn't hit the rivets yet. So this one technically you could still reuse, but yeah, you gotta keep an eye on that. But the brake shoes I bought are bonded. Yeah, and like I said, you can't win either way, whether they're riveted or not. Just because they're rivet, yeah, they, in my opinion, they are stronger. You just got to keep a more eye on them. So that's, you know, part of the lesson. Keep more of an eye on them, especially if you drive it a lot. And, you know, with my bigger tires and all, they're not that big. They're only 31s. But, you know, a bigger tire, it's more weight. They will wear faster. They will. And I was right on 2 things. The shoes, you know, ruined the drums, and they were out of adjustment too, because when I jacked it up, I mean, you could spin that wheel, and the shoes were way off. So that's why I was losing the brake pedal there, because not having the, you know, the right stop power like I had before. But anyway, that's where we're at. So I learned the hard way with that. And you know, if you ask it, well, why don't you just go to disc brakes? Well, I'd love to, but it's not worth it on this truck. It's really not, because I don't really plan on keeping this frame and all that underneath this truck, because eventually, you know, I keep talking about it, But I want to do the dream that I want to do. I want to take this front end off this truck, get a better fender for it, take the cad, the bed, and all off, and put it on the F-150 frame. That's really what I want to do. The only two things I'm kind of worried about is getting the steering box mounted to the original steering column, because I want to keep that. And then I don't want to lose my lug pattern, because I want to keep these wheels. But like I said, you know, I don't want to invest a lot of money in this frame other than, you know, to keep it on the road. That's why it's no point in putting disc brakes on it. It just ain't worth it. I mean, I like these trucks. I like the bodies, but I don't like the, you know, the drum brake design, and I don't like the gas tank behind the seat, the coil springs. I can't stand them. But this is coming from somebody that uses it. You know, I use it to haul stuff. That's why I use it. You know, I want to be able to haul stuff. But I like the truck. I just don't like the suspension, and plus the other thing too, I don't like that two-piece dry shaft. It's just, you know, bad design in my opinion. But anyway, that's my dream, and that's why I don't want to upgrade to disc. Is one day I'm gonna find me a F-150 frame, and it's just, you know, so much better. Get the 9-inch rear end and get leaf springs on the back, and get rid of the two-piece dry shaft. I can run a one-piece, and that right there alone is so much better. And plus on that, if I really wanted to run dual tanks, and had the one in the rear there, and I have the one on the side, so I could run dual tanks. That's a huge upgrade there. That would get rid of the gas tank behind the seat, and get rid of the poor drum brake design in the front, get the disc brakes, still be able to keep the power steering, and plus on top of it, you know, it'd just be a whole lot better, because I want to find a Ford. If I can find the correct one, I want to get one that's four-wheel drive. That's what I want to do, and I still want to run, you know, the 454 and a turbo 400, because I want to run, you know, the Chevrolet drivetrain and keep this body and everything else, and just put it on a Ford. And then I want to somehow figure out how to keep these wheels, because I want to keep those. But anyway, I kind of went a little too much in detail about it, but that's why I don't want to upgrade it, because it just ain't worth it. And on top of that, even if I wasn't going to do that anyway, like I want, because that's my dream, I'm about to have that on the road anyway here soon, and it's not worth it, because this is going to be parked for a little while. I'll still drive it, but I'm hoping I could finally retire this thing and just drive it, you know, just enjoy it and drive it, but not sit there have to drive it every day and just wear stuff out. And I mean, it's, you know, I like my old vehicles and all. There's nothing wrong with them, but, you know, it just puts too much wear on them. But anyway, that's where we're at. We're going in the video here, and so we got 3 different updates on that one and the Durango and our C10, and hopefully you learned something. Don't do like I did with the brake shoes on the front of these things. Keep an eye on them. You gotta keep an eye on them things. So I'm gonna keep a better eye on them and check them a little more often. You know, this truck, like I said, it's set for almost a year. I drove it still, but you know what? Maybe once, twice a month, and that was it, because I was driving this. So I didn't think much of it. But yep, keep an eye on your brake shoes, and don't screw around with that, because kind of playing with your life on that. Thank God that, you know, I was lucky, because something small like that will cause an accident. But that's going to be fixed today. I gotta go pick up my drums and my shoes locally. We'll get the front done, and next week we'll do the back. And hopefully I don't have to buy drums. Hopefully I can just get shoes, but kind of playing on the worst. But anyway, y'all take care. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And y'all take care. Bye.